Hey guys, this is take two. You know, I figured Mark Shaw did it. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do a Mark take two if Mark just did? So my screen was freezing up, so I just figured, I didn't know if you guys could hear or not. But Carmela, good to see you. Good to see everybody on here. So here's basically what I wanted to teach you guys here. The bottom right number. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Carmela. The bottom right number, you see a 4 where the hearts are coming out of right now. If I scroll up on here, okay, often I see less numbers, okay? There's the reason for that is going to be a lot of reasons, but Pauline, good to see you back. Yeah, good to see you back, Pauline. A lot of the reason for that is people are going to be on the web. They're going to be looking at it on the web, so they're not going to show up. They're not going to be connected with their name on the app. So that's why that number is going to be lower when you swipe up to see the live viewers. And then you have the number in the bottom right, which is the people on. The number on the right, for me, when it hits about 7 or 10, it usually is pretty good. It's a good indicator as well there. The nature of Periscope is for people to come in and come out right away. The little guy. I don't know what the little guy means, but the bottom right number, I think it's correct. I think your stats when you're all done, where it says the retention and who was live, I don't think that number means anything. I quit watching that after like the first 10, like 6 weeks ago. I like to go back and see the replays and how many people were actually on live. So let me... the bottom right number, I do think it is correct, but I think you have to have a lot of different perspectives on it, okay? So let me be very analytical here like I am, and you're going to learn that about me. I can't tell at the time I'm scoping. Okay, so let me get a little bit more analytical and give you a little bit different perspective, okay? Somebody who's on here a lot, 5 Minute Leader. 5 Minute Leader is the one I was looking for. He does a great job. A lot of people, including me, do a lot of 5-minute ones. No, we do 6-minute ones. I don't want to take your brand away. No, we do a lot of short ones. And 5 Minute Leader does a great job of doing like over-hour ones because he has so much content and value to give that he does them for over an hour. And I was studying his numbers. I thought it was very interesting, actually. And one thing I've noticed is when I do really short ones that are like 3-4 minutes long, I go back and check a few minutes later, and my replays are actually very large because people didn't get a chance to get to it. So then I started studying. I study a lot of data. You'll get to know that about me. I studied a 5 Minute Leader. I'm like, he's doing them for over an hour. And yeah, and he does a great job, guys. He's got a lot of energy and he's fun to watch. So you guys should follow him right there. You see it right there at 5 Minute Leader. Very intelligent, been around the business world a long time, and we believe in a lot of the same stuff, from the direct response to, you know, headlines and all that kind of stuff. And so I tracked him. He was over an hour, and he had 1,400 live, which was incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive that he had 1,400 live, and I thought that was awesome. And he did it for a little bit over an hour. And I just dropped a hint on one of the future shows that I'm going to do. I won't give it away yet or what the title is, but that part right there is actually going to be in a future show. And so the number on the bottom right there is 7. So I don't know if Dean wants to answer this, but of his 1,400 live viewers over the course of well over an hour, I would bet the number in the bottom right didn't show 1.4 or 1,400 very much of the time. It wouldn't surprise me if it showed 12 or 15 most of the time. So he probably had a number in the bottom right that showed 12 or 15 most of the time, and he could be like, oh, well, I have 12 or 15 viewers. But when he was done, an hour and 20 minutes later, he had 1,400 live viewers. So think about that for a second. So 14 in the bottom right, most of the time he's looking. He's like, oh, I got 14 for an audience. But then at the end, instead of 14, he had 1,400. When you swiped up, it showed 5 viewers. But keep in mind too, okay, 47 and a high, mostly 18. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you for those stats. So 47 and a high, mostly 18. So that means he was probably 25, 30 for an average. And he had 1,400 when it was all said and done. Well, 2 things that means to me, okay? 2 things. One is brilliant idea to do one for over an hour. Even more brilliant that you have a lot of great stuff and a lot of high energy to keep people interested for over an hour, okay? And then the second thing that it tells me is that in almost all cases, you wrote an incredibly intelligent headline. Because over the course of, let's say, 75 minutes, let's say every minute you have, I don't know, like thousands of people looking every minute on Periscope for a good headline to click on. Well, take that minute times 75 different minutes. And every minute you get a new opportunity, or every few seconds you get a new opportunity for 75 minutes for people to go into a Periscope and or leave a Periscope, right? It's the same thing on TV. People are watching a good show and then they see a commercial and they change channels. It just happens. So he had that many opportunities for people to come in, and it wasn't just a dead scope with 10 people. It had a lot of people because it was such a good headline. It was such a good headline for the whole time. So he had a good headline, and because it had such success, he was able to run that headline for an hour and 20 minutes. And that's how he got 1,400 people. That's not an accident. So the two things basically I want to say is that if you have the good headline, headlines are the key. There you go. And you had a good headline. You have a good headline and you do it for a very long time. What I've noticed is if I have a really good headline, you got to give people about 60 to 75 seconds to get on. They got to get it out of their pocket, the notification, all that stuff. About 75, thank you very much. About 75 seconds, they get on, this number shoots up to 7 to 10. Okay, it shoots up to 7 to 10, you've got some traction. If it shoots up to 7 to 10, you're like, oh, I actually picked a headline that people are interested in. So then you hit 7 or 10, well, don't be worried if it doesn't reach 30 or 40 or 100 or anything like that. That's when people start sharing and inviting and all that kind of stuff. Thanks, Alex. And that is what people like Mark and stuff who have worked very hard to get us all to invite and share and get those numbers to go really fast. But my point is 5 minutes just gave you the stats right there. It's directly from him. It didn't come from me. I watched it, and I looked at the numbers afterwards, and he gave you the numbers. I don't remember the exact numbers again, no, but they were like 18 and 37 or something like that for the high and the low. And the point is, if you just look at the bottom right, and you're like, oh yeah, there's 15, 16 people on here the whole time. And you say, well, there are times I do 12 or 13, am I really growing? It's like, yeah, you had 14 live people, 1,400 live people. It's an amazing accomplishment. And then with that comes new followers. And then in the future, let's say you get 30 or 50 of those people to follow you. Well, in the future, now your bottom right number of 14 might start going up to 18 and 20 and 22. So doing a really long one makes a lot of sense. But then also making sure that you really want to have a really good headline. And then also do the duration as well. So Carmela, good to see you. Thanks you for that. And 5 Minute Leader, you guys follow him. He's obviously done something I haven't done yet. It's 1,400 people in one broadcast. I've been doing a lot of short ones. So yes, I did. Celsi, I did just hear him shout me out, and it was awesome. Actually, the replay right before this one that broke, the one right before that, I gave him a special thank you and shout out, a special Periscope just for Mark Shaw, at Mark Shaw. So I thanked him personally for it. Opportunity would not be the same in 90 days. Alex, elaborate a little bit on that, because I agree with you on that. And I'm curious what your take is on that. Maybe also hit me on Facebook about that. I live in Minnesota. I live in the Uptown area. It's about 3 miles from downtown Minneapolis. I got David Wang, who's on here a lot. He's actually coming down within the hour, I think, and we're going to do some high-level ideas on marketing. He's a big whiteboard guy, and we want to talk about some growth hacking and some of that kind of stuff too. And he's had a lot of successful growth hacking businesses in the past in other states and everything else. And David actually is I explain this right. His business partner, giants showing up, celebrities, totally agree. David Wang's business partner is Brian Karoff, and Brian was CEO, co-founder of who I was working with before in the internet business. So I definitely have a lot of interest in working with David and Brian, and it's going to be some great ideas. He is part of my Facebook Periscope instant chat that I have, and we've been sharing 10, 12 different comments a day for just really fast talking for the past few weeks as we're watching this evolve very, very quickly. So guys, I'm excited about this. The early adopters, it's a really big thing. The celebrities are getting on here and everything. Monetization will be a big thing. Are you not leaving Tag Tribes? Are you? I'm not leaving Tag Tribes. Chance now is to grow it. The Tag Tribes concept works really well. It's a good concept. If you guys want actually a short amount of background on it, here's basically what happened. I have been studying this tribes concept for about 6 years with Seth Godin, like off and on, and I've studied tens of thousands of things. I actually studied a lot of stuff by the time I was 23, tens of thousands of things on the internet, way before most people were even on the internet. 5 Minute Leader followed me. Awesome. Yeah, he's been following me for a while. We've been talking back and forth. We've been having some really good conversations. So I test a lot of things, the tribe things. Truth is, I've actually been pretty busy on Facebook, having a lot of success, gaining traction on there. And I just never got the Twitter thing. I never got it. And like the hashtag thing kind of makes sense. And as I was working with another client, we were getting, I just looked at the stats today. We had one post that got 15,000, another post got 22,000. Yes, Catch is picking up on it. I think I had Catch